Hey, what's up everyone? Johnny Man here and welcome back to Save Our Saints. Today is crunch time here in the season for us. We go into December. Obviously, in past seasons, we haven't had a good December run. It kind of derails our season. Obviously, in today's episode, we're hoping to correct that. We have two games today. We're up against Arsenal and Newcastle United. Hey everyone, once again, welcome back to Save Our Saints. Today's, of course, episode number 20. And after that incredible 1-0 win over Man City last time out, we've had a little bit of a slump. We've only one game in our last 5 now, and unfortunately, we've lost 3 in the process. Starting with this one, it was a 1-0 defeat up against Dynamo in the Euro Cup. So I actually put out a semi-reserve team for this one. I tried some new players in there. I see Will Smallburn got the start, and Wayne Marshall actually played up top as well. I wanted to see some of our young guns and obviously rotate some players out because, again, with December in mind, obviously a lot of fixture congestion. I wanted to make sure I rotated the squad out, and I didn't want to get players to get too tired. Last year, they got too tired, and I felt like that kind of collapses us in December. So with December in mind, I rotated players out for this one. Unfortunately, in this one, there was no excuse, though, at all. We had our starting 11 out there, and honestly, we should have beaten Wolves. But unfortunately, they beat us 2-0. They've turned into a kind of our bogey team in this series so far, and comfortable victory for Wolves here. But go back to winning ways here, up against Stoke City, a 3-0 win. Ibrahimi's first goals for the club, as you can see in the 17th and 50th minute. Ryan Bertrand also getting a goal in the 75th. Unfortunately, in this game, though, we did lose Gustavo Scarpa. He's going to be out for quite some time, I believe. Yeah, he's going to be another potentially 4 weeks with strained knee ligaments. So disappointed to lose him because he was in fine form this season. But this is a very good victory for us, and I was happy to get back to winning ways. After that, another defeat in the Europa Cup here, and this was against Anderlecht 1-0. This time, as you can see as well, we played a lot of reserve players again. Phil Roberts, as I like to pronounce him with 2 L's in there, make his debut for the club. He did okay, 6.3, but he wasn't actually very, very good at all. You know, it was on the bench too. We had Jankowicz in there. We had Nigel Smith. Bycroft was our backup goalkeeper. So as you can see, it wasn't our strongest 11 out there by any means, but it's a game we still should have won, and we dominated largely, just couldn't make the breakthrough. And the most recently disappointing 0-0 draw at Brighton here. We dominated the game from start to finish, possession-wise 69% on the game itself. 9 shots to their 1 on target, and overall we were just unfortunate not to find the back of the net somehow. But it was an encouraging performance. Just unfortunately couldn't break that deadlock. So currently, as the league stands right now going into middle of December, and obviously this is when the fixtures start to pile up a little bit. We have pretty much 2 games a week now for the next 4 or 5 weeks, so it's going to be very difficult going into January. So say we played Arsenal and Newcastle. Both of the teams are slightly above us in the table. Arsenal are 5th, Newcastle are 6th, and as you can see, we are 7th place in the table. We have a couple games in hand over the teams above us. I'd like to maybe start winning a couple of those games in hand and go up to a truer league position, because honestly, we've had a very, very good first half of the campaign, and I would like to see us finish strong here in December. Alright, so here we go, up against Arsenal. Arsenal on great form right now, 4 wins over the last 5. Us, on the other hand, only 1 win in 5. Obviously, a lot of squad rotation, and it's caught a little bit maybe a disjointed performances here and there, but I'm hoping to correct that today against this Arsenal side. So this is the team we're going to roll with. As I mentioned, Gustavo Scarpa is going to be out. Maxwell Cornet is also not available. He's going to be out for another potentially week or so, and our backup keeper, Muller, he's going to be out 2 to 5 weeks, so I'm not expecting him to be available anytime soon. So today's team, this is how we're going to line up. Angus Gunn's going to be in goal, Toljan at right back, Target at left back, Hoyt and Maguire through the middle, Gambin and Ndidi through midfield, Martial, Grealish, Kluivert the attacking trio, and then Haaland, of course, is leading the line. And you notice today, by the way, we are resting Ryan Bertrand and Mario Lemina, both those players in the early 80s. It would have been some risk to use those players today, but I'll save them for the Newcastle game. So I'm confident in this team. We have a good enough squad to rotate players out and stay competitive. Obviously, last time we beat Man City 1-0. And that was a big win for us, and I'm hoping this will be a staple win as well. Maybe help us find momentum again and climb the league table. All right, so here we go at St Mary's up against Arsenal, still under Unai Emery, by the way, in this series. And I just finished watching the Liverpool game on TV, and they played some absolutely fantastic stuff. For what it's worth, I actually think Arsenal are a better team than Liverpool. But anyway, here's a chance early on. Haaland is tackled well, Pintar, and it's cleared by Aubameyang. So, Rusty Hoyt's going to pick it up here. He's under some pressure, though. Angus Gunn launches the ball on. Grealish is trying to try underneath it. He's not going to win many of those in the air. Here's Martial, though. Poor pass to Ndidi. And it's Aubameyang. Good attempts there for Jeremy Toljan. So, early chance here for someone. It's going to be a clear-cut chance at the very least. It's a long highlight. Wesley Hoyt looks for Kluivert, finds Ndidi now. That's a good ball forward. Haaland's now through on goal. Erling Haaland's through and he scores. Get in there. Erling Haaland makes it 1-0 to Southampton here early on. 3 minutes in, and he gets his 14th of the season. What a great signing Erling Haaland has become for us. Just a very physical threat up top, and not to mention he's a good finisher as well. Rakes through on goal and smashed it past Leno in goal, and 1-0 to the Saints. All right, here's target now to Ndidi. So here is Aubameyang now in midfield. There's Julian Brandt. For Ozil's got all the time in the world. Finds Aubameyang through on goal, and it's going to be 1-1. Yep, Pierre-Emerick is not going to miss those chances at all. Tore us apart there far too easily. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Wesley was pulled out of position there from that left centre-half spot, and it was just far too easy for Aubameyang to get through on goal. But, all right, just before the break here, it's still 1-1, and I hate when there's a highlight just before the break. I normally feel like we're going to concede. But anyway, here's Matt Targett now, deputising for Ryan Bertrand. He could be the long-term solution then when we decide what we'll do with Ryan. His contract is up at the end of the season, and right now he says he's not interested in renewing, which is kind of strange. So Matt Targett, I'm looking for increasing playing time for him. And there's Grealish. Oh, on the instep. Try to curl it to that far post, and it was just past it. Good effort there from Jack Grealish. He's haven't seen a lot of him today. He had a couple of chances though, but haven't seen a lot of his creative ability. Anyway, so far so good. I'm actually very happy with the performance. Where you could argue we're outplaying Arsenal in there. We just got to be very careful, committing men forward, because Arsenal will exploit that space at the back with relative ease, as you saw, and that's how they got the goal, essentially. All right, it's corner kick. Grealish whips his ball in. There's Gambin at the back post, and it's just off the top of the crossbar there. Unlucky there from Gambin. All right, we'll make a change here. I'm going to make a change. What should we do? I'm going to bring off Kluivert, going to bring on Patrick Roberts, and I'm also going to bring on James Ward-Prowse here for Jack Grealish. He's not had a good game so far. I only have 6.2, so I'll bring on James Ward-Prowse instead. Oh, Roberts played better in that role. Roberts is slightly better there. And Prowse is slightly better inside forward. Yeah, we'll do that for now. All right. Even though James Ward-Prowse is a right-footed player, I'm going to use him out there. Hopefully he'll get some decent crosses in. He's got a great distribution. He's one of the best passers at the club still, so I'm hoping that James Ward-Prowse can maybe supply a ball just like that. There's Haaland now through on goal. Oh, Erling Haaland. Another glorious chance there for Erling Haaland. Really should have been 2-1. It's a good corner. Roberts can't get to it, and it's going to be easily cleared in the end. That's another reason why to bring on James Ward-Prowse as well. His set-piece ability is obviously he's just fantastic at taking corners and free kicks. Creates opportunities for them. All right, so last bit of change here. What else can we do here? We could bring off Erling. Potentially. What could we do? What could we do here? Let's move Erling Haaland to the left side, inside forward. He can play the role a little bit, and let's put Ibrahimi on now for the last 5 minutes of this game. A bit more of a physical threat up top. It's 6'5". Maybe if Prowse can get a couple balls in the box there, he might be able to win one down. Maybe knock it down for Haaland. All right, so I'm also disappointed with the performance of Martial today. Obviously, in big games like this one, you expect your big players to turn up, and Martial once again kind of shrank and disappeared. But it looks like it's going to be here a 1-1 draw, which is not going to be a bad result, really. Prowse whips the ball in, can't get it clear. And, they get it clear, and Maguire is going to scoop up the loose ball. And it's going to end here 1-1, I'd imagine, unless something crazy happens here at the end. Nope, full-time whistle has gone, and it's finished here 1-1. Actually, it was a pretty good display from the guys. As you can see, we largely dominated the game. 20 shots to their 11, 60% possessions to their 40%, 7 shots onto their 4. Honestly, you could argue we deserve to win today, but we'll take a 1-1 draw at home to Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal are one of those teams at the end of the season that I'm expecting to compete against, and as long as we're not losing the teams around us, we have a decent chance of finishing in the top 4. But all right, so next game is now up against Newcastle, and I'll see you guys just before that fixture. I could also argue being disappointed about a 1-1 draw at home to Arsenal just kind of shows how far we've come kind of as a football club, as far as my expectations and the team expectations, and the quality of personnel we're utilising. So it goes to show really how far we've come in the save, and honestly I can be proud of it. All right, so here we go, up against Newcastle United now, currently sit 7th place in the table. We jumped to 6th after that draw against Arsenal. So, unfortunately, because of that draw, however, we've now slipped up a few points behind now from Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal. So it's important that we get a good victory today against Newcastle. And not to mention, it would help give us a little bit of a gap over them and the chase-in pack. So here we go, up against Newcastle. A couple of changes from this side last time out. Let's take a look at those changes. Obviously, Ryan Bertrand comes back in after being rested. So does Mario Lemina. Unfortunately, we did have to remove Martial just to give him a bit of a rest in there. As you can see, he's only 90%. So Patrick Roberts comes into the starting lineup today. He goes to the right side of the attacking trio, and then Justin Kluivert goes to the left. Jack Grealish keeps his place in the team despite me attempting to drop him, but I don't really have many other options behind him. Perhaps James Ward-Prowse would have been the ideal guy, but for now, Grealish will keep a spot in there, and of course, Erling Haaland will keep his place in the side as well. So no other changes really made to the team. Amate comes right back there. That's the other change I made. So here we go, up against Newcastle at home. This has been normally a pretty good fixture for us. We've won 3 out of 4 games against Newcastle, and obviously today I'm hoping to make it 4 out of 5. All right, here's Quintero now with a free kick. That's a great free kick. And the ball figures of FM19 once again showing itself there. Fantastic whip on that shot. All right, here's Grealish now from the corner kick. Whips his ball into the far. There's a Marty with a header. And Dubravka makes a fine save. Chance now for Thomas now. He's through on goal. Reached our back line once again. That's a great solid chance there from Harry Maguire. And Ryan Bertrand should make the clearance. Well played there for Harry Maguire getting back and making a very important challenge. That would have been a great opportunity for Thomas. Here's a great opportunity though for Newcastle again, breaching our back line, and Bittencourt, lucky enough, hits it straight at Angus Gunn in goal. Here's Lemina. Now we've got a chance of our own. Here's Haaland now through on goal. He's going to hold the ball up onto his left foot, and great finish there from Erling Haaland. Makes it 1-0 to Southampton. Get in there. Fantastic finish there from Erling Haaland, just cutting back on to his left, the peg, and finding that far corner of the net. Take a look at this bit of skill here from Haaland. Composure there, got in the box and beautifully kind of passed it by Dubravka in a goal. So far, it's been a very open game so far. Chances falling to either side, and lucky enough, we find ourselves 1-0 ahead. All right, there's Haaland now, bringing Grealish into the play. Grealish, that's a great ball to Lemina. It's through on goal, and it hasn't gone in. Now it's gone in. Get in there. That was probably the scrappiest goal I've seen yet in FM19, but a goal from Mario Lemina there makes it 2-0 to Southampton. We'll take it, of course. Here's Grealish. What a great ball this was from Grealish, but I whipped it around the back of the Newcastle defence. Lemina got a shot off, deflected onto the post. Dubravka made a mess of that, and Lemina kind of slide tackled it in, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter anyway. It's gone to the back and it's 2-0. All right, so far so good. 2-0 up here. Not playing great either, but we are grinding out so far a couple of goals and obviously keeping them at bay at the back as well. So we're grinding it out. We're doing pretty well despite not playing all that well. So here we go into the second half. I'm not going to make any changes quite yet. I am tempted to bring on Anthony Martial, though. When players get a little bit tired, obviously his pace can certainly stretch the opposition, and that might give us the edge in the second half. All right, here's Bertrand now with the free kick. Off the inside of the post. Unlucky there from Ryan Bertrand. He scored a couple from free kicks this year, and that was very, very close to another one. Anyway, here's Grealish now, puts the ball in, and DD with a header, but he's evilly claimed there from Dubravka. All right, so make a change here. I'm going to bring off Justin Kluivert, give him a break. Anthony Martial is on the bench, ready to go. I'll also make a change in midfield. I'm going to bring on Thomas Haaland to play as a Mazzala. He's really come on leaps and bounds this year, and he can definitely mistake a claim to be a first-team regular on the age of 18 years old. So encouraging signs there from the young player, and it's kind of cool to have a regen come through a youth academy and start to make regular Premier League appearances. It's always a good, happy, warm, fuzzy feeling inside when that happens. All right. Here's Quintero now for Newcastle deep inside their own half. He works it out well. That's a good crossfield ball looking for Matt Ritchie. There's Maguire's going to scoop up the loose ball. Here's Martial now. Let's see what he can do today. He was a bit quiet against Arsenal. Now here's Haaland. That's a great bit of skill. Haaland's now into the box. Erling Haaland did it all himself, and the keeper pushed onto the crossbar. Unlucky there from Erling Haaland. This guy is an absolute handful for any opposition defence. All right, so make a change up top. We'll give him a break. Let's bring in Ibrahimi now for the remainder of the game. Again, he's another physical player that we like to have up top, and he just causes all kind of problems for the opposition, as Haaland almost got himself a second there just before I took him off. But having two strikers that are very big, physical, talented threats. Oh, that's a good chance. Saved from Amati. But anyway, it's good to have these two physical guys up top because they do seem to cause opposition defenses problems. Also, it's a different look. Haaland, a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker though than Ibrahimi. Ibrahimi's like 6'5", so that's a different kind of threat altogether. But anyway, here we go. We've got 3 minutes of added on time now left to go in this game. We're still winning here 2-0. Probably should be more than that though. Probably should have extended our lead here in the second half. It's essentially been all us. Here's a late chance perhaps for Newcastle to get something out of the game. There's Bittencourt, does well in the box, and it's deflected off someone and it goes into the back of net. The goal is credited to Leonardo Bittencourt though, and Newcastle maybe have a late chance here to equalise. So we got to be careful here. Let's go ahead and tell the boys to concentrate. With only a few seconds left in this game, it would be quite devastating to throw another 2 points away here. Here's Haaland now. Here's Roberts. Time just about ran out here. Martial is going to get hold of the ball. Holds the ball up to Bertrand. Bertrand looking to keep possession, but Shelvey wins it back. And here's Newcastle on the counter-attack now. The flooding players forward. Bittencourt plays it long. Maguire does well, though. Get back, and Angus Gunn should hit this ball long. That should be it, referee. That should be enough time added on, surely. And there it is. Full-time whistle has gone, and it's finished here a 2-1 victory. So it's good to get back to winning ways here in the Premier League. And so far, it's been a good So far, it's been a good episode. I say so far, it's been a good episode. It has been a good episode. A draw, a 1-1 at home against Arsenal is a great result. And obviously, then we just beat Newcastle here 2-1, who are playing pretty well this season too, as we saw. Still 7th place in the table, so a very respectable season from them so far. So at the moment, at this stage of the season, this is how things stand for us. We're currently 6th place in the table, and that's pretty respectable. We're almost at the halfway point of the season, and to find ourselves in 6th place with only 4 defeats and scoring lots of goals, 30 goals. Could score a few more, I suppose. We did miss some opportunities in the games against Arsenal and Newcastle, but overall, very, very happy with how things are going. Obviously, Liverpool are going to run away with the league this season. They've only conceded 8 goals now in 19 games. That's absolutely absurd. So going into January, obviously, as we know, the transfer window is open. A few players have agreed to join us in January. We'll take a look at those future players real quick. Obviously, Marco is a young, promising defender. We're going to try and bring him in on a cheap deal. Take a look at him, see if we can build him up a little bit. Mohamed Keita is coming in from FC Basel on a pretty cheap deal, £2.5 million, but the potential is there to be a superstar though. Potential of 3.5 star, potentially 5-star player. And Frederick Robert is joining as well on a cheap deal from Le Havre for only about £700,000. So good bit of business really, trying to bring in these young players. And as you notice, I'm trying to bring in a lot of strikers in because in the future I might be switching to a 4-2-4 kind of formation and try and make the most out of the players that we have. But I'm also putting in bids, by the way, for this guy right here, Ali Yildiz. I really like him. Again, another potential striker coming in. It's going to cost quite a bit of money, though. I think £4.5 million is what we agreed upon. I'm scouting him right now to get more information upon him, but on first impression, he looks like a very talented player. And also, he can play on the left-hand side of midfield as well. And what I like about the kid, he's 18 years old, and he's both-footed. So that's a very, very useful trait to have. And I'm also trying to bring in potentially this guy as well, Fedin Haliti, who is a out-and-out winger, inside forward. Someone that can definitely push perhaps Justin Kluivert and Patrick Roberts to that first team role. He's only 18 years old as well. The potential is there, no doubt about it. But anyway, that's the future plans. Obviously, going into January, things are going pretty strongly. We've had a much better December so far, and I'm hoping to finish off pretty strongly against, again, Tottenham, Man United and Newcastle. Honestly, it's going to be a very, very tough run, but I'm confident in the boys. So what I'll do here is I'll play those 4 games, including the Everton game in the FA Cup, off camera, and then you'll join me for the second week of January up against Everton and then Tottenham. We'll have a better idea then on how we're going to finish off the season, because obviously we're playing Tottenham, who are currently 8th, Man United are 5th, Arsenal 4th, then Tottenham again, who are 8th, and then play Liverpool, obviously, who we spoke about, are top of the table. We need to get something out of those games, obviously, if we want to compete to finish in the top 4. And then on the second half of the campaign, you notice that the fixtures get a lot easier. So we could potentially, as long as we remain solid, pick up points along the way here in December and early parts of January. We have a really, really strong chance of breaking into that top 4 by the end of the season. You notice down here at the bottom too, we're playing Olympic Lyon, by the way, in the Europa Cup in February, but that's a few episodes away now, so we'll talk about that closer to the date. But thanks so much for watching the episode. Hope you guys enjoy this series so far. If you are, do me a favor, smash a like on it, and if you want to see more videos by me in the future, do me a favor, hit subscribe, turn notifications on. It truly mean a lot to me, and thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.